Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to do colour changing granny stitches. So you can see in this example, which is a book cover, that I have alternating the light blue and the bright blue here. How did I achieve this? Well, I'm going to show you how to colour change and make it really easy for you. I'm not going to follow this pattern. I'm going to do this pattern in another video to show you how to create a book cover like this. But today we're going to be talking about colour changing, because to design your own colour changing pattern is great fun, but also quite tricky. So let's get the technique of changing colour down first of all. I'm using Aran weight yarn today, which is what I use for this book cover, in two contrasting colours, blue and orange, and a size 5mm crochet hook. Now you start off by crocheting a multiple of 3 plus 1, and that seems to work out just fine. So let's just go for a small sample, but long enough that we can see the colour change well. 1, 2, 3. So we're just doing yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and one final 1, 2, 3, and then 1. We're going to start off by doing a blue row, and in the third chain from the hook, that's 1, 2, 3, we're going to do a double crochet. In US terms, that is a treble crochet in UK terms. So there's our edge. So we're going to use these chains as a fake double crochet, and then we've got a double crochet in that chain next to our turning chains. Skip 2 chain, 1, 2, and in the next chain we're going to do our granny cluster. That's 3 double crochet, or treble in the UK. I'm going to stop saying that now. We'll just use the US terms for now. There's no chain in between these clusters. We simply skip 2 chain, 1, 2, and then we do a double crochet in the next chain, 3 of those together, 1, 2, like that, yarn over, skip 2 chain again, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet, skip 2, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, skip 2, 1, 2, and we'll do 2 double crochet in the last 2 chains. This gives us a nice edge. 2 chain, and we're going to turn our work. And we're going to start off by doing blue, orange, blue, orange, blue. So in our first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. Then in the gap, we're going to do our first cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Now we don't finish off, or we can finish off. Let's do it this way. We'll finish off this stitch, but we'll take our hook out and push it back through those last 2 loops. That's quite a neat way of changing colours. Let's take our orange yarn, create a loop, and hook it over the hook and pull it through those two loops just there. Then pull your blue away, your first colour away, and you're going to continue, hold that tail firmly in your right hand, yarn over, and we're going to do 3 double crochet, holding it all very steady in the next chain space. 1, 2, 3. Like so. Now I'm going to finish this off again. Tighten up your tail because it will come loose. Then, because we're on the wrong side, we've got our yarn to the back of the work, to the wrong side of the work. We want to pull our yarn to the wrong side of the work. We're going to pull this blue yarn through those last 2 loops, yarn over, pull through, making sure that we've tightened it enough, but not so tightly that it all gathers up. So make sure your tension is correct and that your work lies flat. Get rid of that orange to the front, and we're going to do our next blue cluster in the next gap. 1, 2, and 3. Slip the yarn off the hook. I'm going to show you another way of doing this as well. Bring your yarn to the front, yarn over, pull through, pull that down slightly, cluster in the next space in orange. 1, 2, and 3. And then the final blue, one, 2, and 3. And then we have 2 more to do, one in the top of this first double crochet and one into the top of the turning chain. So that is just there. Turn our work. And now we can see how we've got our 2 little orange clusters in amongst our other blue ones. Now on this row, the next row, we're going to change. We're going to have orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. So how do we achieve that? We have our orange here. Now when we're changing colour at this point, we're going to want to leave our working yarn to the back of the work. Let's do our turning chain, 2 turning chain. Now you may need 3. I crochet quite loosely, so I only need 2. Then I'm going to do my next border double crochet, just like we had on the first row. Now in the next space, because we had a space here on the first row, so every odd row looks the same in terms of the pattern. Every even row, which is a reverse wrong side row, looks like this in the pattern. So our next cluster will be here. So I'm going to bring up my orange and join it in. Push your yarn to the back because we're on the right side of the work. We're going to collect our orange yarn from the back, like so. And we're going to do our orange into that space just there. 2, 3, then we're going to collect our blue, leave the orange to the back, collect the blue, hook it through. We're ready to continue on our merry way. Blue here, and we're going to capture the strand that was pulled across when we did the colour change on the previous row. That will help it look neat on the reverse side. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to find our orange again and pull it across the back of the work. Remember, working yarn is to the back when you're changing colour, when you have the right side facing you. Continue with our orange, making sure that we're capturing that strand. It sits quite nicely in the work, actually, that strand. You don't always have to hunt for the strand that's dragged across the back. Find your blue, push that to the back, that orange to the back, bring the blue up, pull it through, continue into this gap down here. Now we have our tail. Just go over the tail a little bit, helping you secure it. Pull the orange away. 1, 2, and 3. Now, technically, I should now do an orange at the end here. So let's do that. I'm going to swap to the orange and finish the row with our half cluster, which is in the last 2 stitches. Now I do it into the stitches rather than the space because it gives a neater edge, but it's entirely up to you. As long as you're consistent, that's the main thing. Into the turning chain, always a bit tricky, particularly when you've got a larger hook. 1, 2. Now we've got a decision to make. We can either keep going with our orange moving across one, or we can make it come back on ourselves. So let's see how we feel about going on to our next row. We'll start with we can go blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, and have orange on the end. So we're going to bring our blue up. There's the blue. Move that to the back of the work, pull through the blue, turn it round, 2 chain, 1, 2, pull the orange away, and we're going to start with a blue in this orange double crochet from the row below. Now we're on our even row, so we're on row number 4. So the pattern of the clusters looks like row number 2. So we're going to go into this first space just here. And we're going to go in with, we've started with blue. So let's change colour and go in with orange. See what happens, because we haven't got any plan with this. We're just making sure we learn how to change colour. Remember, on the reverse we're bringing our working yarn to the front, and then we're going over the strands that were brought behind our work. So we're going into this, catching the strands, 3 orange, oops, need a bit more yarn, 3 double crochet. Now you can change colour by simply doing that last yarn over pull through without taking your hook out of the work. But I've shown you the other way because sometimes that's easier when you're learning. So now we're going to do our blue. 1, 2, 3. Stop there. Before we finished the stitch, this time we're doing it the quicker way, but you need to be more on top of what you're doing. Orange, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn forward. Finish the stitch off in the new colour. Now your yarn gets twisted, so down here it gets twisted. So you might have to unravel your balls of yarn at some stage, but we'll finish this row and have a look at how we're going. 2, 3, finish the stitch with the new colour, and we've reached, so we're looking at the row 2 below, not that one, this one. Got one more cluster and then an end. So we're going to do our orange, 1, now you can see I made a mistake. I left my yarn at the back of the work, so I'm going to have to undo that. So you can see why you need it to come to the front of your work when you're doing a wrong side. I'll leave the mistake in because it's useful to see where it's easy to make a mistake. So blue at the front like that, orange going over into that last space, 1, 2, and 3. Change colour, bringing this forward, and we're going to do a final double crochet into this one just here. Sometimes it's a little tricky. And one in the turning chain, which has tightened up. Okay. I'm just going to pop it in there. There we go. Turn our work. We'll have a look at what we've done. So we can see here that we're gradually moving, we're adding in our orange here, and our blue is moving this. So this is giving us a diagonal pattern. What you can do now is to decide to do 2 blue, the edge blue. This one will then be blue, and this one will be blue, and you're moving across. So you might want to have a completely blue row and see what happens, and then maybe start again with this pattern here. So that is how to colour change, and you can see the impact of changing colour on the pattern. So it's a very interesting way to use a granny cluster to make your patterns. Now this pattern I drew out on special diamond paper. And in an upcoming video, I'm going to show you how to design your own pattern And it's quite tricky. I'll take it slowly. But actually it's really fun to do. You get some surprising results, like we had a surprising result here. But now you know how to change colour in 2 ways. You'll be able to do colour change granny stitches with absolutely no problem. So that's all for today. That's our colour changing with granny clusters in 2 ways. One, taking the hook off your work, and the other where you leave it on your work. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Press subscribe for notifications and the bell for notifications of upcoming videos, in particular the one where I take you through designing your own granny stitch pattern. And I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Take care. Bye.